Hello! Holy crap, we finally got back to this. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. We were meaning to get to this Ranting and Ravings, like I said. We were going to do it every other week. As you can see, we're rewriting the DCEU again.
But life got in the way.
Yeah, life got in the way. Life has a way to mess up your plans.
Uh-huh.
So, hey, we're finally back to doing this, and we're going to talk about the big elephant in the room, because as bad as Man of Steel was, out of all the movies to rewrite, Batman v Superman is a whole different beast to try and break down. I mean, you have... Man of Steel's biggest problem was the butchering of one character. Batman v Superman is a butchering of...
With a clusterfuck, butchering so many different characters.
Be it from Lex Luthor to fucking Batman.
I was like, Superman, Batman, not Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
I was like, he'd be better suited as, like, the Joker or Riddler or something.
Yeah, and Jimmy Olsen even.
Yeah, I was like, that was kind of a...
Thanks, Zach. When people said they really wanted Jimmy Olsen, they didn't mean they really wanted him dead. I just really think Zack Snyder likes to just fuck with people and just do random shit just for the lulz.
Yeah, I was like, oh, here, you wanted Jimmy Olsen? Fine, there he is. Killed them all.
There, I killed him, happy. That's not what we meant.
It's like, you did it. Doesn't count, jackass.
So, in all essence, we're going to dive right into this. If you've I would say you're going to want to go ahead and watch our Man of Steel. Hey, give me more views.
Plug, plug.
Yeah, plug. Yeah, because we talk about, obviously, the main actor who's going to play our Man of Steel now, Ben Affleck. We've also talked about a villain that might end up popping back up, James Spader as Brainiac. And, of course,
Or Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, or Jason Isaacs. Though I think we'll probably go with Jason Isaacs, I believe. Okay. We were a little indecisive in the first video, but I'm like, Jason Isaacs, more and more we keep thinking about it. He sounds like a really good Brainiac. And again, I want to see him pretty much against James Spader's Ultron, even though people said James Spader was a bit of a pain ass to work with.
Yeah, I also nominate for Brainiac, possibly Gary Oldman. He can do a good villain.
I'm like Gary Oldman for almost any kind of villain role. But we have to figure out, how are we going to redo this Batman v Superman? Well, first off...
It's like, where do we begin?
We have to begin with the most prominent role, Batman.
Yeah, since we've already cast Ben Affleck as Superman, it's like, well...
Yeah, well, who are we going to get to play the Bats? And that is a thing that I think we actually already kind of touched upon. Henry Cavill actually would probably be a good Batman.
I would say, we were talking in the video about it, like, he does a really good broody.
Yeah, he does brooding well, and he can come off as intimidative, and it's not very Supermanish.
I would say, he doesn't have very many other emotions to show off, but...
Yeah, he can brood, and he can stick his wiener and stuff. That's what he did in the Tudors. He was freaking Henry VIII. He stuck his wiener... Oh, that's a whole sweet...
I mean, he did have wife after wife after wife.
Yeah.
Trying to get a son. It's like, dude, your own sperm. Blame yourself.
Technically, blame your member down there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think Henry Cavill would be a really good Batman.
So pretty much having them switch roles.
Yeah, we're just like, hey, you get that role. You get that role.
Like, you over here. You way over here.
Mm-hmm. And also, we're going to have to go ahead and specify one very key factor. Batman's not going to murder. That's a big thing of Batman's character. That's one of the... First off, it's something people remember from Dark Knight, which is a very recent movie. At the time when Batman v Superman came out in 2016, Dark Knight wasn't even 10 years old. Everybody still remembered Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, there's even that scene of... Oh, not Falcone. That one mobster.
Yeah, there's one Falcon guys.
Yeah, Maroney.
Yeah.
Or
Falcon Maroney or... But yeah, Eric Roberts' character.
Yeah, him saying like, okay, it's like, everyone knows that you have a code, like, you don't kill. I was like, well, I didn't say I was going to kill you.
No, actually, that's not what he said. He said, it's like, it's just coming from one guy who's who intimidates people. And then if you pick a spot that actually would kill him. Or it's not, pretty much, how's he word it? Pretty much he sounds like, I know this isn't going to kill me. He's like, I'm counting on it. And he just throws him off.
Yeah.
And breaks his legs. It's like,
No, I was like, sorry,
you're misremembering Dark Knight. You don't remember what you did.
I would say there is, fight me. There is a scene where he's like, okay, everybody knows that you have one rule that he follows, and you're going to have to break it in order to go after the Joker.
No, that's not at all what he says. He never brings up his rule. Only the Joker brings up during the interrogation scene. Sorry, we're talking about a much better movie right now. Yeah, during the interrogation scene between Joker and Batman, very well-known scene. Whenever he says, pretty much like, only have one rule, and that's when Joker says, you just get to break that one rule. Well, he's pretty much making fun of Christian Bale. Because Heath Ledger's a god. At least in that movie he was.
Somehow this stuff is kind of blurring together. I would say, I have this movie on Blu-ray, I'm going to have to get it out now.
Yeah.
Rewatch it. It's like...
But yeah, I think Henry Cavill, he can pull off that, intimidativeness. He can pull off that scariness. That's the reason why his Superman's always been a little awkward. Mm-hmm. One, it does not help how it's been written. It doesn't also help how Scott Snyder. Zack Snyder. Scott Snyder's a shitty writer, is all he is. He's a guy who writes for comics. But yeah, Zack Snyder's biggest problem, again, he's directing it so emotionlessly. That would be another thing. No offense, we probably would have some other director. Well, I guess if we wrote it, we can go ahead and direct it. We'd be so good at that. That went into this clusterfuck. I don't know, but we would figure out some better director, somebody else.
Yeah, we'd figure something out.
Yeah. So we have our Batman, we have our Superman. Now, the Dawn of Justice, that is the one part that, I don't know if we'd even include that. I think I would actually remove that from the entire title. Just to even touch upon something else. I mean, first off, yes, we know this is going to lead to a Justice League movie. Thanks for telling us, you bunch of nitwits.
Yeah.
I'm so glad the Warner Brothers fucking executives think that we're that stupid that we just, when was this going to leak? Hi. Yeah, so just make it about the Batman vs. Superman. Now, the one thing that we were talking about is actually the plot of it. And how to get this to happen. Because, let's just face it, nobody really wants Batman and Superman to just straight up fight. Well...
There has to be a reason behind it, an actual reason.
Especially since we've already had in the first movie that we did, we had Brainiac fighting Superman, though Superman purposely is trying to contain the damage and also contain Brainiac's, doing stuff.
So it was for Batman to be mad at him.
Yeah. So it's like, well, what would happen? What would actually truly, begin to set them off? And if you want to, we can actually use your idea of using Gary Oldman as a bad guy here. Because, first off, this is all setting up for Justice League. And this is all pretty much setting up Darkseid. At least we thought.
It's like so much build up, and then, we get one of his lackeys, and then...
Not even a good lackey.
I was not even one of his more well known the
Desaad or
Granny Goodness.
Caliban, his fucking son or created son, but
I would say his adopted.
Yeah, because Orion's his real son.
Yeah, they traded sons for the.
Yeah, they traded Big Barda and Orion in all instances. Big Barda was raised on Apocalypse, so she was actually from New Genesis. We're nerds. I don't know if that's abundant enough. But yeah, it's like, of all the people, you choose Steppenwolf. Even a guy who, even me as a nerd, I was like, yeah, that is a guy that...
You're like, oh, yeah, I think I remember.
And I'm like, why Steppenwolf?
Yeah, he's in one of his, like, lesser-known lackeys, and then you just drop Darkseid altogether. It's like, what the hell? It's like, you're, like, it's like foreplay. You're teasing us, and then just like, okay, done. Just
no, it's like you're about to tease him, but right before you actually get to the sex, instead, the guy walks up, sticks his ass right in your woman's face, and just farts. Just the most rank thing ever. Knocks her skin almost off. That is the equivalent of what we got. I think I broke her. Nothing is better than a good fart joke.
My love, you have such a way with words.
I have a way with words like a paraplegic has way with stairs.
I shouldn't be laughing at that. It's so wrong. Shut up. Oh, I'm so ashamed of myself for laughing at that. Oh,
it's funny.
It's so wrong, though. Oh,
because now you're just imagining the guy going... I should just imagine it. But, now, I kind of started to now looking more and more back on Steppenwolf. I sort of understood what they were going for. They're trying to copy Marvel again. We're going to tease this, like, lackey and all that who's actually going to go for it.
Are you trying to say he was, like, Loki?
Yeah, he was supposed to be their Loki. And that's the problem. There's no teasing to him. There's no... He's not introduced in any movies. He just suddenly shows up, and he's supposed to be this all-powerful dude who gets beat like that. So...
he's not even teased in the previous movies. He's just... I mean, he's not... He doesn't have near enough, like, the charm of Loki.
Yeah.
Like, what made Loki work is, like, Tom Hiddleston's charm with it.
Yeah. So what we were thinking, hey, also, since Lex Luthor was just the worst thing ever that made you just want to never eat a Jolly Rancher for the rest of your life, even though they're delicious. You don't remember the scene of him? I'm going to stick the Jolly Rancher. It's like Jolly Rancher. Cherry. Or whatever that was that he was doing. Why not?
I tried to block out that movie.
Yeah, it's a rape on your brain.
Way to put that.
I am good with words today.
Like I said, my love, you have a way with words.
Yeah, don't make me repeat my joke again. Oh, Megan giggles herself silly. Not gonna take too much, but hey. She's just on people. She's not coming back. Here's the thing, she has not drank today at all, except for just water and Coke.
And tea. Sweet tea.
Yeah, she had some sweet tea. Maybe she snuck some whiskey in there. She's gonna die. What's she gonna do? She didn't breathe.
I was like, I almost had it under control, then you had to say something.
Well, you were turning red. I was worried your head was gonna explode. And that would be a hell of a mess to clean up. I would be sad to miss my baby. While Megan continues her laughter, all that I was just going to speak about. She's too loud. I can't even go over her.
I'm sorry.
I don't even know what's so funny now.
I don't know. Oh.
She's crying. She's laughing so hard. This video's gonna be like 30 minutes of Megan laughing, and the rest of us talking about how Superman vs. Batman was terrible. Well, Batman was Superman.
Oh, okay. Oh, what the hell's wrong with me?
Little barks. Probably drinking root beer. I'm afraid to make jokes right now.
Go on. I I nearly got it under control.
But yeah, what I'm trying to hint at about with Steppenwolf, to get back around, swallowing them, don't spray it. It's not jism.
He's like, you almost got this whole thing started again. Oh.
But yeah, about Steppenwolf. Now the reason why, again, not only does it not help that they didn't have any build up to him, but I think that's the thing. It's like we need to actually begin to build to Apocalypse. So, what better way than having some of Apocalypse's actual disciples show up, and they're the reason why Batman is untrusting of Superman. Batman's already, because you can have a more grizzled Batman. One, it's not too terrible of a thing to do. I mean, I would stay away from the mentionings of Jason Todd, because let's just throw it out there. It's just fan service, but it's fan service to the point to where it's like, all right, you don't even have plans to do that. Why include the Jason Todd stuff about Joker supposedly killing Jason Todd? Not only that, but the costume looked like ass. It's like, there's all this stuff. It's like, oh, well, there's no method. It's just all madness. It's literally like the Joker is writing for Warner Brothers. And he's just like, ha, this will make him laugh. Ha. I don't know what they're doing. So, instead, maybe have a Batman who's been working for about 5-10 years. He's good enough to, know what's going on. And he saw what happened with Brainiac. And maybe he was a little suspicious simply because of Superman's power. And he's like, I'm a little uncertain because that guy seems a little strong, And obviously that was actually one of the first things in the original story, World's Finest, the 3 issues. Mm-hmm. Those who ever want to pick it up, there are a fantastic 3 issues that talk about Superman and Batman first meeting. And it was eventually made into Enemies and Allies in a way. Because Enemies and Allies placed in the 50s. World's Finest was in like the 70s, 80s, who knows when. I'm sorry, y'all. You're going to have to learn a little comic book history. But in that, Superman and Batman had to team up together to take down Lex Luthor, and it was to also remove this, because at one point Lex Luthor used his kryptonite ring to subdue Superman, and Batman got it away from him, and actually, encased in lead, and was able to let Superman go.
Well, can you imagine, like, if Lex Luthor had, like, pretty much control of Superman, like, how frightening that would be?
Yeah. But at the time, Batman, he actually showed Clark, he's like, I still have the ring. And he's like, I will give it to you so you can destroy it because I know it hurts you. And Clark said, no, I want you to have this. I know you have problems trusting, but I want this to be a good faith from me to you, showing that if I do get out of control, you have the one thing that can take me back down. Yeah. That was a fantastic 3 issues. It spoke to Superman's character as him being heroic and also wanting to trust, but it also spoke to Batman's character in the fact that he's not just gonna trust just cause. Yeah. And on top of that, it also showed each one of them being smart. Because Superman wants to make a ally out of Batman. And I'm pretty sure Batman wants to make an ally of Superman.
Yeah, he wants to know that he can trust this, like, really strong dude who could easily just take over everything. He's like, okay, bow before me. Like, I am your god now.
Yeah. So, we have to figure out, it's like, how can we make that similar? But they're going to have to fight a little bit. Because also, let's just face it, we want to see Superman and Batman fight a little bit.
I would say it's got to feel epic.
Yeah. So, why not have people in their ears? First off, I still don't know who the hell was that Ben Affleck was screaming for in the original Batman v Superman. That guy who they made a big deal. I still swear they called him Dad.
Yeah, it sounded like he said, it's like, didn't your dad die?
Yeah, I was so confused.
Me too. I'm like, huh? What?
Yeah, I think it was actually like Dan or Paul or something else. how about instead of, first off, that doesn't even have to happen, but this guy, he's played by Gary Oldman. And you could let this guy be actually Desaad. You know, he's constantly in Bruce Wayne's ear. Maybe he happens to be a confidant. Maybe he also happens to help Lucius Fox. You can introduce him. If you want Morgan Freeman still to be Lucius Fox, have at it. I'm pretty sure Morgan Freeman doesn't mind. And just, tell him to keep away from the women. Sorry, Morgan Freeman, you're creepy. Creepy as shit. Yeah.
He's a bit on the flirty side. It's sometimes takes it just a little too far.
Yeah.
And they seem like a cool dude.
Yeah. But, so, alright, cool. So we have that, you have him kind of working. And that would make sense, first off. Somebody whispering and, pretty much influencing, like Desaad has the ability to be able to, especially somebody as headstrong as Batman, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
And that's something really to look forward, or something to look more into. Well, what about Superman? He's not just going to go fight Batman just cuz.
Yeah.
And in fact, he might, sort of frown on how Batman, does things. But I think, you could have...
Like how he works in the shadows with a mask.
Yeah, like why would he... Oh, you branded that criminal. You killed a guy. In front of everybody, you ass.
Murder Man versus Captain Hypocrite.
Yeah. It's like one of those like...
Yeah, that fan title that fits.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So instead, how about since we've already established in the first movie with Man of Steel that Clark's been a reporter for a little bit and he's really starting to come into his own as Superman, how about a new part of their, like let's say online wing where they actually do like videos and everything. There's a new guy. He happens to be played by Jesse Eisenberg. Not Lex Luthor though. Mm-hmm. Instead, he's almost a demagogue in a way. Those who are misusing it against Donald Trump, no offense, are fucking retarded. Sorry to be using this that dumb, but it's like a true demagogue is somebody who's able to warp their words to the point to where everybody is able to hear it and hears what they want to hear, and it can almost pull everybody to their side. It's something that if you have never played Warhammer 40k, you just don't get. I think, or unless you live through the regimes of Hitler, Mao Zedong, or some other totalitarian dictator who was somehow able to gain power, Putin. This new demagogue, played by Jesse Eisenberg, I think, because we kind of talked about, like, he would actually be good in this role. Godfrey. Those who don't know Godfrey, he's from Apocalypse. He is one of pretty much...
The Unholy Trinity.
Yeah.
It's kind of how they're referred to on Smallville.
I don't like Smallville, no offense. But still, Godfrey, he's pretty much almost a preacher in a way. But let's just be honest here. I want to leave behind the stupid fetish that fucking Zack Snyder has with going with Superman. He's a symbol of God. Oh my God, Zack, you don't get it.
Man.
It's like, it's not about him being a god. In fact, if anything, because like Clark Kent is who Superman is making fun of humanity. No, it's not. Clark Kent is who he is. Superman is who he wants to aspire people to be, you stupid morons.
Or as they put in this one Lois and Clark episode, Clark Kent is who I am. Superman is what I can do.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I actually like Lois and Clark, even though it's not the greatest Superman show. It gets the character of Clark Kent and Superman.
I would say it can be cheesy at times. It was a 90s show.
Early 90s.
Like 90...
2, almost.
Four?
Yeah, something like that. It premiered before I was 10, if that tells you anything. I was in 1987.
I think it premiered when I was like 8. Or something.
Oh, yeah. IMDb. Go to IMDb. Sorry. Megan does not phone good. I don't know why Megan cannot figure out my own phone. She's messed with it many times and it's like, it works the same as yours. Go top and just hit that. But yeah,
Why in the ever-loving hell would I go to an IMDb
Because it will. Because if you put in Lois and Clark,
I was just gonna Google
Superman,
it.
boom, it's right there, and it will say when it first premiered.
93 to 97.
I said 92, so I'm closest. But yeah, with you having these two people that would be very close and constantly, in Clark and Bruce's ear, you're simply just going to have them helping to build this mistrust.
Yeah, my idea for Godfrey was, like in a lot of, not interpretations.
Interpretations is actually the correct word.
It's not quite the word I'm looking for, though. It's technically correct, but anyway. Yeah, in a lot of interpretations, Godfrey, he is like posing as like this not journalist, like
newscaster.
Yeah, as media mogul. And my thing is like that whole scene where Lex Luthor invites Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, hey, have you two met? Oh, it's like, oh, then this is epic. I was like, foreshadowing. I was like, I was thinking more like, okay, Godfrey is more this media mogul's rich media mogul. He invites Clark Kent because he's media. And he invites Bruce Wayne because he's rich. And it's like kind of an excuse to bring them together, kind of like whispering both their ears, or at least one of them.
He's still influencing them, trying, and maybe you could eventually after that scene, because that scene's not bad if it wasn't Lex Luthor that was doing it. Mm-hmm. Like I said, if you had that being a Godfrey doing it, that would be that scene would actually be really tense. Then it'd be like, okay,
Yeah, instead it feels more like they're pounding us over the head with...
Get it! And still never explain how Lex Luthor figured out who they are. Never mind, it's not that hard, but still, Bruce Wayne's a bit of a stretch. It's like, how'd you figure this out, Lex? Which I just did. And in fact, you could have security detail in John Jones. You could still include the one part that helps to... Sorry, y'all, I'm kind of... It's on my bed and it just slides.
As they were falling off the bed.
Yeah. You could have John Jones, maybe he's, being a detective, just kind of there, and maybe he's actually also... He's doing the one-to-one bit. Nothing against Gal Gadot, or Gadot, I'm not sure how her name is pronounced.
I think
Sorry.
It's Gal Gadot.
Yeah. I don't think the T's pronounced. I'll have to ask her one day. I gotta meet her up every day. It's like, oh, let's go have lunch.
Okay, they're probably explaining it on Wikipedia.
Probably. I just know she's Israeli.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could still... If you wanted to have her, you would have to explain a bit of a humongous plot hole that Wonder Woman created. But, we'll get to that eventually. You could have John Jones doing what she did. Trying to figure out what Lex Luthor... Or what Godfrey has. Because it would make sense that Godfrey would be gaining this information on metahumans. It makes a lot of sense that Godfrey would be doing this. They're trying to prepare for an invasion. Why wouldn't they be doing that then? It's like, I think that makes so much more sense than Lex Luthor having it just because. I mean, they sort of explained it in Justice League, barely, with that end credit sequence. But with Godfrey doing it, especially considering, obviously this is leading to, this is leading to something bigger. It's leading to something really not good. Mm-hmm. Alright, John Jones wants to figure this out. Because obviously, as we showed with our one end credit sequence, we won with Man of Steel. John Jones talks with John Stewart. Mm-hmm. One, you get to wipe that taste out of your mouth of that Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie. Sorry, Ryan, that movie is terrible.
Well, even he wants to erase it.
Yeah.
I'll just fix some timeline.
Yeah. That was so damn funny.
Yeah.
I about peed myself laughing. Those who haven't seen Deadpool 2, it's just the best ending credit sequence.
Ryan Reynolds is like the king of improv, I swear.
But... yeah, so you already have that connection, so it's like, alright, it makes sense that he's going to look more into the metahumans and figure out what this guy is, this Godfrey guy, what's he got, And also at this party, I think we would want to include the third part of the Unholy Trinity, as men called him. No, actually, Unholy Trinity isn't a bad name for him.
It's accurate.
Yeah. And that is, of course, Granny Goodness. Now, in Granny Goodness's case, she's always been more of a torturer and a creator of furies for Darkseid, though she's also been one who's kind of been almost a muscle. Because Desaad and Godfrey have always been very subterfuge. It's their big thing. So, I would think we would have to have like different little scenes interspliced during maybe like Batman maybe kind of getting a little confrontational with Clark, thanks to the meddling of Desaad and Godfrey on both sides. Because just keep building up that. Like, if you want to show the scene where Batman's like trying to hunt down and steal the kryptonite from, maybe it's from Godfrey's soldiers. His Darkseid troops in a way, though they look like humans. You could still have that. One, you're giving the weapon to the guy who probably should have it, Batman. And three, also, you could already go ahead and have a badass Batman sequence. Because you could just show him just picking up dudes and just, whoop, like doing like Arkham Asylum. Like, whoa, holy shit, that was cool. I want to hit that button again. Show him being a badass, being stealthy, and not killing people. And you could have, Superman eventually fly in, maybe while something's happening, because he hears it or detects it, and he comes in, maybe he stops Batman. Batman already, was about to get, he's like, you just stopped me from, getting whatever it is they have. Maybe he speaks about it being something, I don't know, but they said that it's something powerful. That's all I've been able to find. And they kind of are getting at each other's throats a little, but they're not quite, But in between different scenes of that happening throughout the movie, because you can't just have that one sequence. That one sequence does not make the whole movie. Also, no more Batman dream sequences. Holy crap, those were worthless.
Yeah, like they went nowhere, and they just like padded the runtime. It's like, oh my god! It's like if y'all just remove these. It would still be pretty long, but
Actually, I think if they removed all the dream sequences, including she's the key. Never mind, she wasn't really the key. If they removed all of that, the movie would be 2 hours long in its natural running state. I wouldn't be surprised. But interspliced with all that, we would see the Unholy Trinity. Now, Granny Goodness usually is portrayed as a heavier set woman, which, let's just be honest, we're not going to find any heavy set older women. So we have two actresses we were thinking could be a great Granny Goodness. Let's go with Megan's first, since I've been talking for a while.
I would say my pick, like the lady I was thinking of, was Betty White. I was like, I know you said like it could be played for comedy at that point, but I'm thinking more like she can appear like this, sweet little innocent little old lady, but really she's like, like very nefarious.
Yeah, like maybe she can, if you still, DC wants to be hard and edgy, you can have her have the fuck bomb. And maybe like, she's sitting there just talking with them, just very carefully. It's like, so we're just gonna keep enacting his plan and quit fucking it up. You would have to have her almost, for Betty White way of doing it, she would have to be almost schizophrenic in a way. Like, be the sweet, the kind.
Yeah, sweet little lady, the granny. And then just...
And snap it sometimes.
Like badass that we all know Betty White can be.
Betty White can be.
She'll be like...
I'm scared of Betty White.
That's like, I'm scared of my grandma now.
My thought was Michelle Pfeiffer. It's a callback a bit to another DC film, but also I think Michelle Pfeiffer can pull off a different kind of
Granny
Goodness. She can be a very seductive Granny, and she can be a very scary one in their way.
Be almost like a cougar.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't even trying to make it like a Catwoman type joke, but...
Almost you could. And again, I would have that dual, like almost dual personalities constantly going within her. But she would be more the one keeping Desaad and Godfrey in line, making sure that they are doing their job. And she just keeps telling them, it's like, the idea is not to constantly toy with them. The idea is to get them to eliminate each other.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Maybe they see them as the two big cornerstones of the Warner Brothers. No. They would be seen as the pillars of what's holding everything together in their eyes in terms of metahumans.
Yeah, pretty much they get rid of them and it kind of clears the way for Darkseid.
Yeah, because you're clearing... Because getting
rid of... like, pretty much two biggest threats.
Yeah, because if you take care of them both, you're taking care of the two big leaders. Nothing against Wonder Woman, but nobody thinks of Wonder Woman as the leader always. No offense to her. Just no writer's really been able to do her justice well. She's always thought of as the warrior.
I was like, she's not really a leader, she's not really a follower. She just kind of like does her own thing, kicks ass.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's what Wonder Woman is. And that's the reason why you do need a Superman or a Batman.
Yeah, a lot of people like worship Wonder Woman as like this independent, free-spirited, warrior, badass woman that, just does her own things, like, because that's who she is.
Yeah. So that's the reason why it's like, even though people are like, oh, Wonder Woman lead, Wonder Woman might be able to. I don't know if she would be willing, almost.
Yeah.
Because she's too willing to want to go, I'm going to go charge into battle here.
Yeah.
So...
like in the movie Wonder Woman, where she's about ready to take out that general. I was like, no, it's like, gotta do this a bit more diplomatic.
Yeah.
It's like, hold your horses.
So, obviously, like I said, you're going to constantly have the Desaad and maybe you can still have maybe hints at that Brainiac's still around. Maybe at one point, Superman, he's talking to Lois and suddenly maybe like everything goes quiet. Like everything goes black almost. And maybe you just hear, hello, Clark, and just he sees like Brainiac's the three symbols. As everybody knows, the circles are connected to each other. And maybe they have a short conversation. You can show that as also a possibility of Clark's kind of being influenced here. He's kind of being messed with.
Yeah.
You can also hint that Brainiac's still alive.
Yeah. I mean, Brainiac's had like, what, 5 different incarnations?
At least.
Yeah, most notably Brainiac and Brainiac 5.
Yeah, Brainiac 5 is known simply because he was the good Brainiac.
Mm. He fought alongside the
Legion of Superheroes.
I was about to say Legion of Superheroes.
Mm-hmm. Why do I know all this? I had just a Rolodex of useless information. People ask me, I will remember that. Ask me what the square root of 628 is, I probably won't know.
Says the math genius.
That's true.
And say, nerd.
Yep. So, constantly have that, and constantly have Batman, Superman being heroic and kind of gaining each other's way. Stepping on each other's capes, for a better way of saying it. And just eventually maybe Batman hunts down and he gets this weapon. And he realizes it's just a rock. Or he just opens up the case and he's like, what? And he takes it back to Alfred. And I will say, Jeremy Irons is actually a good Alfred. I did not mind Jeremy Irons as Alfred.
It's Jeremy Irons.
Yeah. And they kind of discuss about, it's actually kryptonite, and maybe then Batman begins to get the idea of, or Bruce Wayne, in this case, Henry Cavill, gets the idea of making weapons of it. And, Alfred's trying to talk him down, but at the same time, he's still being talked to by Desaad. Maybe, Desaad's even, sending him, a little text message here and there. Maybe he calls him or just leaves him a voicemail or something like that. And somehow he's able to still just keep doing that influence. Also, you would have to have a moment where John Jones is actually talking with Superman. Maybe talking about what he actually found. Whenever he says, I did more than just guarded his house. Whenever he's talking about Godfrey. And,
more than just provide security.
Yeah, and he's like, I was able to find this. And he can show him the footages of the different heroes. Or at least some of the stuff. Maybe it's showing it very briefly. You could have hints to Wonder Woman if you want to. Mm-hmm. You could have the Green Lantern. You know, maybe it's something that he's actually, in fact, wanting to point out more importantly to Clark. It's like, hey, I know this guy. I know this. Listen to me, Clark.
Yeah, trying to be the voice of reason, and
Clark's just not hearing it because Godfrey's just in his ear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then maybe he just looks at him and goes, I don't know who the hell you are, or something like that, and just storms off. If you want to, you can have more John Jones, but again, this is a Superman and Batman movie.
Like, maybe something along the lines of, like, I had high hopes for you.
I had such higher hopes for you.
Yeah, maybe, like, call him Kal-El.
Yeah.
Or something kind of like...
Yeah, maybe that kind of like hits a little bit. Now, something else we discussed, and it's because eventually, like I said, we're going to lead towards the fight, but obviously there's got to be a breaking point. There's got to be something that makes them want to fight. And it has to be something that hurts Superman. Because let's just be honest, Batman's not going to go looking for the fight. He's going to just be prepared for the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty much... Like, he knows how to defend himself from the school bully. He's not going to go start a fight with the bully, but he's going to damn sure defend himself.
Yeah, and he's going to make like 4 billion traps on when the bully gets there. He's like, oh God, what happened to me? I somehow dissected you. You're still alive. Your heart is still beating. It's just not in your chest anymore. How?
Yeah. Remember's like, he won't start shit, but...
He's going to finish.
I was about to say, he'll damn sure finish it.
Mm-hmm. So that's the reason why I never got the whole, like, Batman kind of almost getting into the fights. Like, that's not who Batman is. But...
Well, Superman isn't a killer.
Yeah, that's very true. So what I was thinking about, because we already kept Kevin Costner. We never really said what happened to him, but I think we agreed there's no reason just to kill him unless you wanted to have a really strong impact. So let's just face it.
Yeah.
He needs to have a stronger impact than just, I'm just dying because of a off-screen thing.
Yeah, maybe I'm like die at the beginning, or maybe like how the movie started with the funeral or something.
Well, I would say have him die about 3/4 of the way in the movie, near where the actual confrontation happens. Because think about it, Superman loses one of his biggest rocks, one of his pillars. He's already had this guy just whispering in his ear and just influencing.
That sends him over the edge.
Yeah, it finally breaks him, and he goes to confront Batman.
Yeah, he's emotionally vulnerable.
Yeah, he's broken down. He is a broken man. And throughout all of it, you know, let's say similar to like Batman vs Superman, if I'm going to give it any credit, we're going to fix the Martha scene. I'm going to save it. But I'm going to save it in a much better light.
Yeah.
First off, have Martha have been kidnapped or something like that.
Yeah.
Have it be a Batman villain. Maybe like hints at possibly like Scarecrow. One, it would make sense that Scarecrow might kind of pop up. Or just anybody. Maybe a well-known Batman mobster. And that's the reason why he's going insane because... Let's say his dad dies of a heart attack trying to defend Martha, and he somehow, like, he's about to go save his mother, but he can't find her, and he's losing his mind trying to do it because we learned that Godfrey helps with it.
And maybe they tell him, like, okay, well, if you want to find her, go ask Batman.
Anything like that. Or just...
something pretty much like, send him, okay,
it's you're not
his fault.
Yeah, or like maybe like he's got these guys, he's just about to start beating him, almost beat him to death because he's so angry, confused, and everything. It's like, you're not Batman or something, maybe, and that just clicks. And you can show Godfrey has been kind of whispering about Batman and saying, it's like, why don't we kill him? At that point, also with Martha, obviously hidden away, let's say we learn that it's actually some, what do they call parademons? Mm-hmm. First off, you're already introducing them, not just having them come the fuck out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it ties into the fact that Godfrey was also behind her kidnapping as well, though he hired it out to lackeys to purposely implicate Batman. And let's say you have Desaad and Godfrey and Granny Goodness all just sitting there watching them about to go at it. Because Batman, or Superman just shows up, he just eyes raging with red, just almost bursting with power, just pure anger.
Hair.
Yeah, sorry.
Hair.
It's Texas and RACU. We'll kick off and on. I am talking a ton. I am so sorry.
That's fine. You're the ideas man.
But, you know, one, I think that would be a cool scene, just his eyes almost like bleeding this red, this kind of smokes almost. And he goes to Wayne Manor because he's able to figure out who it is or something like that.
Yeah.
And Batman has traps for him.
I was say he has safeguards in place.
Yeah, he's ready for it. And let's say he has that mech suit that he's actually able to fight Superman with, and he tries that first. Simply because, let's admit it, Batman wouldn't immediately go to Kryptonite because he probably wouldn't know what it does.
Yeah. Or if he did, like, he was like, you know, was like, okay, this makes him sick enough to kind of, like, kill him. Like, we don't really want to go there just
I just want to
put him down, just get him to stop.
Yeah, and that's what Batman's trying. You know, he keeps maybe hearing Desaad, you know, those whispers in his head, and he's just like,
yeah.
And maybe you see that kind of interfering with them, and they maybe don't really.
Yeah, almost like Ares and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, though a lot better done, like more whispers almost you can hear. Just like how I would do it in a theater in terms of like sound, I would have like the lower speakers start up with what he'd be saying, and it'd go up the actual speakers. And then it'd go on the other side as well, different words.
Mm-hmm.
I would mess with people's ears in theaters. I can't help it. I love when movies actually do that. Like when you hear something go from one side to the other, it sounds awesome. Gives me a chubby. I guess I shouldn't start to laugh again, huh?
Not as bad this time.
But yeah, and also I would still have the fight at night and also in the rain, because let's just be, man, that actually did look cool.
Yeah, give it slightly more, like, epic feel.
Yeah, especially when you see them, these two just fighting in no slow motion, just beating the piss out of each other. You know, and eventually we would have similar to, like, let's say he has the rock, you know, part of the kryptonite, it's just sharp, and he's got Superman against the rope. Batman's just about to stab him. He's just wanting to kill him. Maybe, like, his mask is torn off. He's just bleeding from an eye, and, you know, he looks like he's about to die himself, and he's so angry. And just, Superman...
adrenaline is just...
Yeah, and he's just full of hate, almost.
Yeah.
And that's whenever the Martha scene will come up. But not Save Martha. Our moms have the same name.
I was at a safe word.
Yeah. Instead, have it be something better. Just at least save my mom.
Like, pretty much like as he's...
Just try and choke him and he's about to kill him and...
I was like, you know, a bit more emotional.
Yeah, just...
Like, please, help me save my mother.
Yeah.
But just like I said, more emotional with it.
Yeah, and also, I would figure the kryptonite would start clearing Superman's head because it's began to futz with him. You know, and maybe...
And I was like, oh, this is not my enemy. Maybe he can actually help me.
Yeah, and then, you know, Batman just kind of looks at him and he goes, you know, maybe he kind of loosens a little bit. He's like, what? And, you know, he's like, my mother, I can't find her. You know, and maybe he looks at the kryptonite, just drops and just kind of... Maybe he's even looking at himself and he's like wondering, like, what was I doing? Why was I doing?
Yeah.
Now, instead of the stupid Doomsday thing... Because let's just admit it, that Doomsday thing it looked like ass. Like, okay, you have all this plan of them killing each other, Lex. Why did you throw that out there? Because if they hadn't... Let's say the fight had drug on a little bit longer, and this hadn't happened. Well, now Doomsday's going to come in, they're going to have a reason to fight together, you stupid ass.
Yeah, there's just a little too much going on.
Yeah. So, instead...
Yeah, if anything, I would, like, leave him for, like, the Justice League movie.
Yeah.
So I will say, like, before we rewrite Justice League, there's a few more videos we need to put out.
Just 1 or 3.
Or 4 or 5.
Yeah, I even went up to 5. It's told me how many fingers I have. But at this point, Granny Goodness, she pretty much just throws her hands up as like, all right. maybe like whenever she starts seeing, Batman, he decides to, maybe he goes up to Clark and goes, who took her? Maybe he just says that to him, and maybe that's the snapping in Clark's head, and he's like,
Yeah.
and maybe he says Falcone. Bruce just kind of like rolls his eyes like, him again. And he goes, I know where she is. And he says, I'll save her. Let's figure out who the hell did this to us. Realizing something's been happening to them. And maybe that's when Superman, the smart guy, or maybe Bruce can maybe speak with him about it and say, it's like, wait, we're not us. It's like, you wouldn't do this, would you? He's like, why would you kill me? He's like, I wouldn't. He's like, I would never want to kill you. And that's when they can maybe either become friends instead of being like, oh, Martha, your mom's Martha too? Oh! So stupid.
I would say the fight needs to be epic, but I think also the team up that follows needs to be epic. Like, yes!
Yeah, like maybe you can have them team up and Batman goes, I know where she is. And Batman's, again, he's just being awesome. He's taking out these parademons stealthily while Superman's making a big distraction. And then Granny Goodness is just pretty much like, well, looks like you've just completely mucked it up. And she decides to send in a big gun. She decides to send in something to truly stop them.
Yeah.
Steppenwolf. The guy who voiced it actually did not do a bad job, so I have nothing against that. First off, at least just give him better CGI. That's all I ask for. You could have a, pretty much a lackey of Darkseid. It links to Darkseid. Okay, well, that's cool.
Yeah, pretty much like the Children of Thanos from Avengers Infinity War. Who was...
Ebony Maw, I think, is one of them.
Yeah. Primera?
Yeah, there's a few different ones. That's the bad thing is their names are kind of...
I saw a pop of one of them earlier. Something midnight. Started with a P, ended with an A. That's going to bug me now. To the phone!
Forward to the phone. But yeah, have Steppenwolf step in. And he's going to be... Let's just be honest. Hit just once? There you go. It's a little finicky.
I think
it's a little finicky.
Acted the voicing.
But Steppenwolf is a bad guy. Like, he's a tough guy, and Superman wouldn't have a ton of issues with him. He's going to still have a little bit of problems, especially whenever somebody he's never come across. And also, he'd still be a bit weakened from the kryptonite. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm sliding it. So, you have... Batman and Superman, and maybe they kind of just freed Martha, and, their Steppenwolf just stepping out of a boom tube. First off, you have to introduce boom tubes. It just kind of came out just like, thank God I'm a freaking comic book guy, and I know what that is.
Mm-hmm. I figured out what it was.
Yeah. But, maybe Batman, he's also draggled because they just freaking fought. And... maybe he looks at Superman and goes, well, let's do it again. Or maybe Superman. I would have Superman probably say the funny lines like, well, this one looks like he looks a little tougher.
Proxima.
Oh, yeah.
Ebony Maw, Proxima Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Call Obsidian? Was that one of the...
I think so.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Hmm.
Neat.
We can look it up here in a little bit better. We'll look it up on Google.
I know, this doing thing.
But since they're obviously already worn out, in comes the beginnings of the Justice League. Have John Jones show up. And, maybe he...
brings a friend.
Yeah, he brings a friend. John Stewart. Maybe they both kind of float down, and at first... maybe, like, even Soups is like, you could fly? Mm-hmm. Maybe because he's just, he's battered. He's, taking a few laser shots from these parademons and still getting effects of kryptonite out of his system. And he...
but it should be funny, like, you can fly.
Yeah, like, well, you can fly? Cool. Something like that. I think that would almost
Like,
makes me laugh.
Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
Like,
We could have flown together. And that's the point whenever he goes, oh, he's a little bit more than, maybe he's like, well, at least he's a friend that also happens to have a little bit of power. Maybe that's whenever Jon Stewart... Who did we have for Jon Stewart? I think we had Boris Kojay as Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I think that's one of the people you were suggesting.
Yeah, I love Boris Kojay, sorry. Kojo, however you say his name. It has a weird accent in a spot I don't get. I can't help it, he's an Austrian dude. It confuses me. But having them both show up, Idris Elba, and he transforms into the Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, the green.
Yeah, just turns in green, and just like... and then they just begin just wailing on frickin' in Steppenwolf. They actually really begin to fight, and they're showing off their badass attitude. Even though they've never truly fought together, they're actually able to kind of beat him back a little bit.
Yeah. They'll have, like, Batman and Superman, like, kind of finish off, like, tag team, just...
Yeah.
Make it epic.
Yeah, and then you just have, Steppenwolf, he's just about broken. And he's, like, harder than what they said you were. Or you could maybe have him even say, like, Father said you were going to be tough Kryptonian. But he didn't say about friends. And let's say, like, Superman, he reaches up and he grabs Steppenwolf just by the throat, just like... Or maybe grabs him by the armor. Anything like that. And just brings him to his face. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Just like, what is going on, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Like, I've been beating the shit out of him. I don't know what's going on, dude. Mm-hmm. And instead, Steppenwolf just smiles and he goes, you'll see. And a boom tube opens.
And
takes them both.
Yeah.
First off, you're ridding the Superman problem. Because let's just admit it. Part of the thing that actually was making Justice League almost work was the fact that there wasn't a Superman. So, it's understandable the world might go a little bit to hell in a handbasket. But we're going to build more upon it. We're going to actually go into that more.
And if we do the death and resurrection, we're going to do it right.
Yeah. So, have Superman just removed. He's an apocalypse. He's taken away. And he has to face... And obviously, like, any time he travels to apocalypse, it's not like Superman's just like, oh, I'm perfectly fine. It's like, actually, it's heavier gravity on him.
And instead of, like, okay, Batman now needs a team to help him go, like, rescue Superman.
Yeah.
Go free him.
And you can end it there almost. Be like one of those like, oh my god, cliffhangers.
Yeah, you say something like I'm gonna need some help, or I'm gonna need some friends, or something like that.
It's like, I think we're gonna need a little bit of help with this. It's like maybe
something's epic, almost like we're gonna need a bigger boat kind of line.
Yeah, and then maybe John goes, well, I know a person or two. Jon Stewart or Jon Jones.
Yeah.
And also Jon Stewart even.
Yeah, strange. I know who you meant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Marshman are going like, I think I might know some people.
I know a guy or two.
Yeah, I was like...
Roll credits. Oh! First off, we're cutting down on the amount of pointless fluff. We're trying to remove the shit that didn't add anything to the actual movie. So just dream sequences.
Mm-hmm. And just rewriting the characters as they were meant to be.
Yeah. We're trying to make them not stupid and not just get each other's throats over nothing. Hell, it wasn't even a pissing match. It was a stupid match. Because that's the thing. Batman wouldn't just immediately assume Superman is evil.
He'd be distrustful, yes. He'd be more like, okay, let's see, kind of wait and see what this guy's got.
Yeah, he would speak with him.
Yeah.
I mean, Batman would make sure he has stuff ready just in case Superman suddenly turned on, but he would talk to him and goes like,
yeah.
What are you? Who are you? Why are you? We could have that throughout the movie, but with the Desaad and Godfrey, they would be closer to each other's throat. You're giving an explanation for it, and that makes much more sense. And also why they would know their identities. It's freaking aliens. They, of course, would, and they have better technology than us. Of course they would know a lot more shit than we would. Now, I have an idea for possibly two real badass end credit sequences. You could do both. I'm sorry, I am in love with end credit sequences. I love them even if they make fun of end credit sequences. I cannot help it.
Like in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we wait and then it's disappointing.
How many more of these we got? God, I love Chris Evans so much. Well, in this I have idea of one of two. One is you see Superman, maybe he's shackled and he's just being shrugged. And you have Steppenwolf, he just says, "Kneel!"
Yeah, bloody and broken.
Yeah. And maybe even Soup says, "Kneel for who?" And you just hear, "Me." And you just see Darkseid step out of the shadow and just says, "Hello."
Thanos.
Yeah.
And then it's just...
And maybe he just says, "Hello, Kryptonian." First off, find somebody that's got this just freaking deep, booming voice. Michael Clark Duncan, why did you have to leave us? Mm-hmm. He would be so perfect for that. I was
gonna say, like, physically and, like, vocally. He would be perfect.
Keith David. Friggin' voice of Keith David. Just
Goliath, yes.
Yeah, just, "Hello there, Kryptonian." Just be
or at least vocally. Physically, you'd have to get, like, some big, imposing...
Well, that's gonna be CGI, no offense.
Oh, that too. Always that option.
Yeah, because let's face Thanos had to be CGI. Thanos was like 9 foot tall. They're like,
well, they didn't call him the Mad Titan for nothing.
Yeah. But yeah, having that first off, that shows who the big bad is. Not only that, but it shows that there's somebody who makes Steppenwolf look like a pussy.
And well, he does in the original Batman vs Superman that we're rewriting.
Well, I would first have it like maybe like Superman maybe first kind of tries to charge him. Steppenwolf's able to batter him away a little bit, and Batman's trying to do a few things. Maybe Batman's just like, "All right, this isn't working." Maybe he's just something like that, and so it's like, yeah.
Or it's like, we're fucked.
Yeah, it's like, well, we can't stop now. He's just something like that. He's just bloody as well. The other one I was going to have is Jon Stewart and John Jones and Bruce Wayne are kind of just sitting there and they're talking. They're at the same bar. First off, I want to have a continuous bar. It's like, why not? Let's have a bar. It's their setting. It's their Hall of Justice.
Yeah.
But they're just sitting there and they're like, so, we need to formulate something. We need to do something quick. Bruce Wayne, he's beginning to, just like, we need to save him. And maybe John says, "Don't worry, I've already started to put in a few phone calls." So maybe you can then...
Or I know some people that can help us.
Yeah, and then you can have the reveal of Wonder Woman. The one person that would be able to stand toe-to-toe with freaking Superman in terms of pure power levels. And maybe she just kind of shows up and says, "Well, boys, what kind of trouble have you gotten yourselves in now?" We would explain in the Wonder Woman movie what the hell's been going on and why she has not appeared. But if you tease at Wonder Woman, then you have the movie set up. And of course, also, whenever, like I was talking about earlier with John Jones showing Superman, Clark Kent, the different superheroes that he showed that Godfrey was spying on, you can have Cyborg, Aquaman, and Bruce Wayne, Batman as well, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, even himself.
But give them their own fucking movies.
Yeah. But here's the thing, I would be even nerdier and I would just keep throwing freaking superheroes. Just one, you have then just went, boom, all these heroes exist.
Yeah, it's like this whole, like, freaking Justice League,
like Firestorm, freaking Starfire, Raven, all these different people just you're hinting
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, if you're going to include Cyborg, who's more Teen Titans and Justice League, then...
It's thanks to the New 52.
But yeah, you have to include the other Teen Titans. Like, it's only fair.
Yeah, include all these heroes. Just, it's just this page of different people. Like, if you were to stop it on a DVD, you could go, "Oh, I know that symbol. That's this person. Oh, that's this person. That's this person. Holy crap, they all exist."
Like, maybe it's, like, kind of hard to catch them all, but it's, like, it's kind of like...
Yeah, one, you want to own the DVD then. Two, I would include on DVD as special features, maybe just hinting at different these characters. And look, I sold the DVD for you and the Blu-ray. Technically, I keep calling it DVD, but it's a DVD. But yeah, just something better. We want to fix the main problem, which is that you have a bloated Superman or Batman Superman movie that doesn't make sense why they're fighting, and more importantly, doesn't fit to their characters. This would.
And goes really nowhere except for introducing Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And kind of setting up her own movie, which, cool. Both liked Wonder Woman, especially a lot more than we thought we would.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's pretty much like...
It's Captain America First Avenger. I love the movie, Captain America First Avenger. I like Wonder Woman a lot, but... That's the thing. It's like, it's one that's like, if this was the only good movie we're going to get in DCEU, no offense, I would rather not have the DCEU.
Sad state, yes.
Yeah.
I was like, if you're going to do it right. Otherwise, don't do it at all.
Yeah, give it your all.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's how it is. Sorry if I kept going on. I can't help it. I have an idea that would make us, in my head,
we have so many good ideas.
Yeah, and I hate to say it's like, oh, well, y'all wouldn't have better ideas. No, it's like, I'd be interested in hearing other people's ideas on how to correct the problems with this franchise. Because that's just the thing. Like, I want this franchise to save. I want there to be...
Yeah, basically, it is a big, big mess, and there's always room for improvement, always room for some cleanup here.
Yeah. Hell, even mine, I'm pretty sure it's not perfect.
Yeah.
So, hey, I want ideas as well. It's like, all right, what do you propose? Oh, what? Granny Smith's apple juice, whatever? I don't care. No, screw you. Just anything. Just make a good movie. That's the idea. Sure, the idea I have, or we have, I'm pretty sure, it might be a little on the bloated side, but I would rather bloated with substance than bloated with nonsense.
Yeah.
So, that's all I can say. Is there more you want to say about it all?
Well, like I said, like, there's still a few more videos we gotta do. Because we have ideas for other movies, other individual movies. Because I think a big complaint that we have about Justice League is that there was not really any build-ups. Like, you're doing, you know, this big team-up and then giving them all their own movies. I was like, well, why should we care? The only reason why it worked for the Avengers is because they introduced all these characters to us, made us care about them, made us, like, aware of who they are, and then had them all team up, like, here we go.
Yeah,
round them all up and just have that.
The only one who really didn't get a ton of or actually two people didn't get a ton of character development, technically three if you want to count Nick Fury, was Black Widow and Hawkeye. Yeah. But in reality, Avengers filled in the gaps that we were curious about.
Yeah.
And even then, we still at least knew they existed.
I would say they were introduced in previous movies. Like Iron Man 2 and Thor.
Yeah, and it's like, alright, cool. So, that's all we want to do. Because I would love if there was a rival movies, and I can go, that movie, this DCEU movie was better than this Marvel movie. Well, that Marvel movie was better than this DCEU movie, but this was the best movie. I want that. I don't
want to actually be able to compare and contrast.
Yeah, instead of going, well, all this is shit, and we got one little shiny one that's good, and out in Marvel, what, one, maybe two movies are not that great at worst.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what the whole goal of this is. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and cut this off because we've been going on for like an hour, nearly an hour and 20 minutes. I think we have to say though that the next movie, starting is Suicide Squad. Let's just say this much about Suicide Squad. There's no need to have a Suicide Squad movie when you don't even have a good setup universe.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 movies is not a universe yet. 4 at least.
Yeah, it tries so hard to be Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like, think about Guardians of the Galaxy. They established the universe, established like these characters and the Avengers before they like kind of expanded the world.
Yes. So, how about instead of us trying to go Suicide Squad, how about we go to probably the brightest spot in all of Justice League? and we're gonna go to actually have a solo movie with good old damn it Barry Allen Flash. So that's where we'll meet y'all up with whenever we can get in there when he's out. So until then, everybody, just damn it Barry. Bye bye.